Yay! Oh, my graphics producer, my video producer is going to be so mad at me that I left that overlay on with my name. But good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's version of, or today's episode of Chef Live. Today we're just going to be kind of live coding together. I have a Zoom going, which hopefully isn't flashing as much on Twitch as it is on my OBS screen, but whatever. Today, I have invited a bunch of other engineers from Chef Internal to join the call. So our goal today is to kind of just play around with whatever projects we're each working on. Will from last week is going to help me again on my project that I was working on last week. So if you were here last week, you'll get to kind of see the continuation of Terraform, Chef Infra, and Chef Automate. But Robin and Nick are both also joining us, and they kind of each have their own projects that they're working on. They both have sort of different areas of expertise than me as well. So our goal was to kind of get a conglomeration of experts from Chef to join the call. So if anybody has any questions, please pop them into the chat here. And all of us will try and go through and answer whatever question you have or get you whatever resources you need. That being said, I should let each of these engineers kind of introduce themselves as well. Let's start with Garth because he is the most important engineer on this call for us because he is our video producer. So Garth, do you want to give yourself a little introduction?
Hey, yeah, don't mind me. I'm going to jump off in a second. I just like how it looked with 4 people in the shots, so I'm kind of just keeping Will's seat warm until he gets back from the meetings now. And also I kind of feel a little left out since, I'm supposed to be the video guy, but we're also home still like Jody's doing the streaming this morning. But I made sure everyone's camera was pointed to that then.
Yeah.
I guess my job is done here.
So.
But, yeah, I'll be hanging out in the chat and stuff and learning some coding with the rest of y'all.
Nice. So to summarize, Garth is our awesome producer for graphics, video, and all that cool stuff. Up in your upper left-hand corner, some of you may recognize that bearded fellow. That is Nick Rykar. Nick, do you want to introduce yourself? And I know a couple weeks ago you kind of gave an intro to yourself, but I would love to hear kind of what your history is here at Chef because I think it's valuable. It's a very valuable experience. So, yeah, introduce yourself.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Nick Rykar. These days I'm senior technical product marketing.
Oh my gosh, I muted myself, so that was the smartest thing I could have done ever. Nick,
you did it on the Yeti, didn't you?
could you test again, Nick? Sorry, I'll turn
I
down
can hear
Yeti
you
and
now.
turn up Zoom audio.
No worries. I hear you now.
Can everybody hear Nick as well? Woohoo! Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mandy and Sean, for pointing that out in the chat for us. Sorry about that. All right. Anyway, so that whole long-winded introduction, you now get to say all over again. So,
Oh, great. Okay,
yay.
cool. That's okay. I'm good at talking. I can do more of it. Oh, so is my son, if you heard that in the background. Uh, but I'm Nick Rykar. I'm Senior Technical Product Marketing Manager here at Chef. Been here just about 5 years now. Started as a solutions architect. So I went from selling Chef to now I design demos and white papers and blogs and sort of everything in between. Means the problems I have to solve tend to be more fun than the problems I used to have to solve. Right now, I'm building a cookbook that is intentionally broken and using all kinds of old and deprecated features so that I can make cook style give me all kinds of fun alerts and warnings when I try to run it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Nick and I actually started out on the same team here at Chef, so we both kind of had our own little progressions through, and now we're back in similar roles, but on the marketing team instead of sales engineering. So yeah. And then Robin, we also have Robin Beck. If you would like to give yourself an introduction as well, tell us a little bit about what you were doing before you came to Chef, and then now what you're doing here at Chef.
Okay, thanks, Jody. Hopefully you can hear me. My name is Robin Beck. Nice to meet you all. I'm a senior developer advocate along with Jody here at Chef. I've been here about less than a year, but prior to this, I was doing a lot of freelance training on Chef products for the last 5 to 6 years or so. So I've been a part of the community for quite some time and mostly focusing on training and delivering solutions in the training realm on small and large teams. So I built up a lot of courseware materials, traveling around delivering them, and have worked with Chef on their courseware for quite some time. So I'm excited to be a part of the team more officially now. These days, I'm doing a lot in the trainer capacity and also working on developing a lot of kind of bespoke training and content that we're hoping to roll out around Habitat and some newer product stuff that I'm really excited to share coming into the later part of the year. So happy to be here.
Secrets, future plans, and everything. Yeah, that's awesome. Robin's work is, I'm very excited for the Habitat coursework that he's preparing, because it's, historically, we've kind of taught Habitat from a perspective of like, here's what Habitat is. Now let's like push it into your environment and make it work. But we haven't really given a lot of like training or background on how to get started, like building around your app with Habitat. It was more from a Habitat perspective, and Robin's goal is to build more of like kind of an application view, like from the application's viewpoint, so you can come in, learn the training, and then go out and whatever application you're working with, you have the knowledge to actually like build around that. So I'm very excited for that. I guess without further ado, we can like kind of kick into, well, first of all, if anybody in the stream chat has any questions, if anybody watching has any questions, just pop them in the stream chat, and we will get them answered. I'm keeping an eye on that. Garth, our executive producer, is also keeping an eye on that. And then there's tons of people in here. Like I see Dr. RK is Kimball. He's from Robin and my team as well. Linux Chick is Mandy Walls. She's you might remember her from the Unicorn Project episode when we did the book club. She is also an awesome engineer here at Chef. We have Sean Yap. He's awesome on the web development team at Chef. Technofire is Will. So he's going to be joining again once he gets off of his team call. And I don't know if anybody else on here is an actual Chef engineer or not, but we have, Virgo Pros maybe. I don't know. Rygear, are you from Chef? Famuz P? I don't know. All these names mean so much and yet nothing to me. So anyway, So the point that I'm trying to make, though, is we have a bunch of people on this stream right now who can answer questions and help solve all your problems. So without further ado, we're just going to kick into the live coding portion of things. Please interrupt if you have questions, though. One thing I wanted to share with you guys, or share with you all, is this article someone wrote about Tilda Threum, who I follow on Twitter. She's pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome. Sorry, I gotta stop using she and he as pronouns and replace it with they by default. But it's an article about different APIs that you can interact with and code around. And so if you're looking for some projects to keep you entertained during this wonderful time of social distancing, this article was a really cool idea for using whatever tools, whatever products or solutions you're using, and going through and finding different cool different cool APIs to play around with. So this one is basically an API that gives you pictures of dogs cuddling, which I thought was adorable. There's a Pokemon API, so I know Linux chick Mandy could get into that. So I just think it's just because we are being confined to our houses doesn't mean we can't be productive and still learn new things. Which, I mean, if you're watching this stream, then probably you are also excited to learn new things. You probably wouldn't be here if you weren't interested in that kind of thing. So that is the first article that I thought was really cool. That's kind of entertaining me while I cannot go out and socialize. And if you can't tell, I'm a very extroverted person, so I need socialization in order to thrive. So this has been pretty hard for me. But the other article is not technical related at all, but it is hilarious and very encouraging for producing work, essentially. So the oatmeal is cartoonist, I guess is the right word. I don't know. Oh, yes. Sean just posted a Pokedex from a Windows 95 style Pokedex in the chat. That's awesome. And you can, it's using the Pokemon Go API. That's awesome. So anyway, the oatmeal is a cartoonist from my local area. He's from the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, Robin, exactly. He created Exploding Kittens, as well as, oh shoot, there's another one that has a similar name, but it's slightly different. Anyway, they're very fun
like
games.
Bears
Throw burrito.
What's that?
Well, there's a Bears versus Babies one, isn't there?
Oh yeah, Bears and Babies. Anyway, they are hilarious. If you enjoy the likes of like Cards Against Humanity and stuff like that, it's kind of in that vein with a sort of macabre humor. So it's very fun. But he put out this blog post recently, or I assume it was recently because it came up in my feed, but whatever. It's about creativity and the things that he's learned about creativity. And even though he is a graphic artist, all of the points that he brings up in this article are very poignant, especially now in a time where we're all kind of living in our own bubbles. And we don't necessarily have feedback from external sources to say, hey, it's okay to like make a mistake, or it's okay to go back and, I don't know, change things. It's good to keep reminding yourself that of ways that you can be productive. So I'm going to just put those in the chat because just showing you them doesn't really help you get to them unless you know how to Google exactly what I was looking at. So if you're interested, check out those two links. And then, yeah, I'm going to jump into my code. So when last we saw our intrepid chef coders. Will and I were working on a Terraform project. And Robin, you might enjoy this. This Terraform project is hopefully someday going to be able to going to be used for spinning up like our workshop and training environments. So what my goal here was to do was spin up an automate server with all the workstations like we had for our road trip last year. It's the same code, I just added onto it. So we want to spin up the workstations, we want to spin up a Chef Automate server, and then inside that Chef Automate server, Samuel 138 said you can't hear anything. Can anyone else in the chat hear? Did I lose audio somehow? I hope not.
I can hear you, and so can others.
Okay. Well, Sam 10138. Whatever. It looks like Mandy can hear. It looks like Kimball can hear.
It might be only going mono channel from Zoom. So if your headphones are like, if only one side of your headphones is working or something, that might cause you to not hear audio, just because of the way we're looping things.
Oh, interesting. Okay, just because of the limitations of how we're streaming.
Yeah, we wanted to do everything. We wanted to be able to see people and see the code and yeah.
For what it's worth, my computer, you can maybe not hear it, but in the background, it sounds like a rocket ship about to take off. So, yeah. Please do keep letting us know, though, if you encounter audio issues, because it might actually be my system not being able to keep up. However, continuing on. So we wanted to spin up a Chef Automate server, and now the Chef Automate deployment service allows you to spin up a Chef Infra Server as well, all trying to make it super easy for you to deploy whatever you need to from whatever chef solutions you need in your environment. One of the things that I'm hoping it makes easier for us is spinning up workshop and training environments that already have a chef server, a Chef Infra server, a Chef Automate server, and then all the workstations have whatever keys and client.rbs, knife.rbs, whatever configuration files that they need. So,
and Jody, is this the setup where it's running the Chef server as a service on the same machine?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty exciting.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't need a separate Chef server attached to this build. It's hosted as a service right there. Wow.
Yeah. And if anybody on the call has gone through a chef, an official chef instructor-led training course, you might remember that in order to go through a lot of the practices in the later half of the courses, we have you sign up for a managed chef account at manage.chef.io. It's a hosted account that we manage the chef server. Our goal is to move away from that practice. And so in each training, there would just be its own little self-sufficient entire chef environment, hopefully working seamlessly to allow us to spin up more dynamic or like better environments for our training and workshops. So I'm going to check real quick and see. I assume since Garth is still here, Will hasn't joined yet. So not that I want you to leave, Garth, just that I know you said you were just keeping the seat warm.
I just really like the way 4 people look. The shot's going to get ruined if I leave before Will gets here. I'm going to try to leave the split second that Will arrives, so
Ooh, I
that
like it.
always for.
That would be skills with a Z. Okay, so let me see if I can kind of recall where we left off. Whoops, I did not want to put that space in there. Recall where we left off last week because after I got off the stream, I stayed online with Will to continue kind of troubleshooting where we were at. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, let's see, what was I doing in here? Oh, I think I was modifying some provisioning scripts so that we could get the chef PEM file, or the client PEM file for each user that we create from the Chef Automate server, or Chef Automate Infra Server, onto each of the workstations. And so, yeah, that is currently what we're working on here. I got it to mostly working state, so I'm gonna log in to Okta. I'm gonna spin this up in Terraform and see where we're at, because I'm pretty sure I was getting some error messages last week. But yeah, so what I have done is, where do I start? In our workstation Terraform file. Well, so last week when we left off, I had successfully created a script that goes through and creates chef users in the Chef Infra Server, but I hadn't created an iterating loop, I don't think. And so what Will and I worked on was, I think this portion here. Yeah, so we added a remote execution of a script to go through and make a temporary drop directory for each of the, a drop directory for the PEM files. Then it goes through, so that's this first line here. This next portion goes through and, oh, actually, this is the user creation. Okay, so we moved the user creation out of this remote exec block that we had up here. If you recall from last week, yeah, I had I was having it go into a new script and creating the servers through that. But I encountered a little bit of an issue that Will was helping me through, wherein if I have the script as part of a remote exec during the provisioning of the Chef Automate server, then when I changed, so like back in this Terraform file, if I had it in here in this portion, when I went through and updated those scripts and reran Terraform apply, it had no idea that I had changed that. So I had to taint the file. But then what that meant was Terraform was now destroying and then re-provisioning the Automate server. And all I wanted it to do was like those two little scripts. So Will helped me essentially pull that portion out of the remote exec here and create a null resource that goes through. It's going to set all of these variables, and then on the Chef Automate instance, it's going to make a directory, like I said, a temporary directory to drop all of those important PEM files. The next portion is going to go through and create the user, and it's using this count index variable to reference back in our variables file here, however many, oh my gosh. Nope, not our variables. Sorry, our terraform.tf vars. And this guy, sorry. It's going through and using this automate user count portion to say, hey, let's loop through or iterate through and create a testing user for each number in that index. So it's giving.
This is pretty fun for me to see, Jody, because Nick Rykar actually had a big part in helping me make this work originally.
Oh, nice.
Getting into the user counts and that script from above. Are you still using Terraform 11 to do this?
I believe I am, but only because I'm afraid of updating any of my tools on my system. So
Cool.
for anyone,
There is a good utility called TF Switch that lets you toggle between 11 and 12. And you can even put like a switch config file in your thing so that you don't even have
to. And I've got that all set up for you, actually. We had some great work from another engineer who came in and helped with this. So Jody, if you check out my version of this, we could have you kind of merge those changes, get on TF12, and you can run this just TF switch utility that automatically installs the right version for you. And you can switch back and forth between 11 and 12. It's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I ended up having to dive all in because someone had fixed it on a repo I was working on. So I was like, all right, I need to learn this. The biggest pain in the butt I've found so far is, at least I'm using Visual Studio Code, and the syntax helpers for Terraform, even with the experimental language support, have not worked great for me on Terraform 12. So be aware you may get a bunch of false positives in Visual Studio Code. But that's the only real like bugbear I've encountered, and that's all just a matter of like, whoever's got time to get it working.
I got you. Okay. Well, should we do that before I spin this up, or spin it up and then? Oh, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was not raised as a software developer. I was raised as a systems administrator. And there's no judgment one way or the other, whether one is better or not. But as a result of being raised as a sysadmin, I did not learn like all of the awesome development practices early enough for them to be ingrained in my development process. And so all of that is to say, pulling down the latest version of Robin's repo has a very big chance of breaking everything that I've done.
Well, I think it's been divorced from yours at this point too, so we'd have to do a pretty hard merge. So let's avoid that for now. You're doing great. I just wanted to let you know how exciting it was. We finally got this on 12 and stuff.
Oh no, it is very exciting, and that was, I think having it in 12 would have made it a little easier for me too. Last week, because Will was on 12 and I was on 11, I think, and so he's like, "Here's how you can fix it." I was like, "It didn't work." And he's like, "Oh, that's because you're on an old version." Womp womp. Hey, Nell, how's it going? Cool. Oh, this is awesome. Now sharing this with all of y'all, I got to find out that one of my teammates is looking for this in the distant future for something. He wanted this to be complete for something in the future. So this is awesome. Yeah. Nell, good point. Trying to stay healthy. I think you missed the beginning of the call, but I was talking about at least some mental health practices. I'm like keeping busy with different articles on productivity, creativity, and like not going crazy, being stuck in your home when you're an extrovert. So yeah, nice to see you. And if anybody else has any awesome resources that they've been using during this wonderful time of social distancing, please let me know. We have a channel now at work that is all basically like tips on like avoiding becoming depressed or avoiding becoming down from the social distancing and all the stress that's going on right now. So if you have any suggestions, please share them here. Or one thing that we're collecting right now, which I think is kind of fun, is different virtual backgrounds. So several months ago, Nathan Harvey, who you may or may not know, Nathan Harvey shared with me a repository on GitHub that he has that is his office, just like a picture of his office, so that if you have a green screen, you can be in Nathan Harvey's office, which maybe in this generation of Chef is not as hilarious as it might have been like 2 years ago. But Nathan Harvey's like background is iconic on Chef Zooms. So I thought it was pretty funny. And then if you all follow him on Twitter, he just posted like last week, he did a big happy hour on Zoom for anyone who wanted to join and be entertained and stuff. And everybody in the happy hour had Nathan Harvey's office as a backdrop. It was amazing. I think Kimball, weren't you on that call? It was pretty cool. Anyway, so all of that aside, we are going to, I'm going to initialize because I think I needed to do something last week. I know you only have to do it once, but whatever. Okay, we're gonna apply this and see how far we get, and then kind of go from there. I don't have a super good method of sharing anybody else's projects, but I suppose Nick or Robin, if either of you wants to share what you're working on, we could do it in the Zoom as well. But yeah.
Yeah, we could just make...
Nell. Hilarious. Sorry, Robin, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Nell said...
Oh, no, I was just saying, to share screens through Zoom, we can just make this display capture full screen and have someone share their screen.
Yeah.
Just won't be able to see our faces, our lovely faces, if we do that, but...
So sad.
I think
Nell posted that Terraform makes her feel like Elsa in Frozen. Is that because you have to tell yourself over and over again to just let it go? Just breathe through, let it go. And also, side note, has anybody seen Frozen 2? Not bad. Not bad for a sequel. Although, they did have some inconsistencies, as is the norm for Disney and sequels. But, yeah. Oh, I just had a really good idea while this is running for another form of content that we can do on this live stream. We should do live stream karaoke. I think everybody would enjoy that, right? No?
Harmonizing with Zoom and Twitch lag? What could go wrong?
Yeah, there's so much lag. Like what you're seeing right now in the stream actually happened yesterday at this point.
Seriously.
Yeah. You get a hell of a row your boat round going on.
Oh my gosh, yes, that would be amazing. Yeah, hey Steve. Steve can play the background guitar for us, and you could even sing, Steve. I heard you at karaoke during our big company all hands in January, sir. You can't hide from your talent. Sorry. Oh, goodness. This is probably going to take like 5 or 10 minutes. Based on historical... Yeah, tell me about it, Steve. Based on historical runs. Robin, I'm curious how long it takes yours... Or how long it took yours last time you ran it.
The provisioning?
Yes, or whichever one. Yeah, the provisioning.
Whew. Yeah, anywhere between 9 and 15 minutes.
Ugh, gross.
Depends on how many workstations you're setting up, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is asynchronous, if I remember correctly, right? Like it is setting up all the workstations simultaneously.
Yes.
So yeah, I haven't tried it in a few weeks, but it does take usually about 8 to 12 minutes for me,
Okay.
depending. The worst though is when you're trying to test this, and you're destroying the resources and recreating them over and over. Sometimes the routing can get messed up inside of AWS,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that can be difficult. But I think you should be all right.
I'm pretty sure I have an instance in AWS that's running from like 6 months ago, but that like I ran the Terraform destroy, but for whatever reason I had run so many applies and etc's that it it's still there. Let's see if we can find it. Man, I haven't been in AWS a lot since they changed the UI. It's kind of interesting. So this is... Oh, that's the one I'm spinning up right now. Huh. Maybe I'm wrong, but Joshua Timberman reached out to me and was like, hey, you have all these instances in AWS. In the training account, I think, but who knows? Whatever. Ooh. Oh my gosh, it's still going through and installing all of these. I didn't talk very much about this last week, but this is kind of cool. Not the Terraform portion of it, but what you see on like the right hand side after the colon here is everything that's happening on the Automate server. And what is going through right now is that Habitat, the deployment service in Automate, is grabbing all of these different packages that Chef Automate and the various services on there require. It's managing all of the dependencies like magic. It's putting them on my system, making sure they build properly, and then deploying them and managing them throughout the life cycle of the server. So we're like using our own solutions to deploy our own solutions, which is awesome. We're walking the walk and talking the talk, I guess.
Alrighty, I'm about to set your teeth on edge, Garth, because I've got to run, and that's going to put your box down to 3.
Oh
So,
no.
apologies in advance.
All right, cool. We'll be here for about probably another hour or two, Nick. So if you want to jump back on when you're done, feel free.
Yeah, this looks dumb. It's dumb. What if I leave? If I leave,
I
maybe
think it's
2 people
fine.
looks better.
I think you're too. Does anybody in Twitchland agree with Garth that this looks really horrible? Nope, nobody does.
They agree.
Never mind the delay.
No. Also, if I leave for a sec, I might be able to fix the delay. So why don't I'll pop back if it makes an even 4 again. But I'm gonna go for a sec.
Okay.
I don't. I'll just leave you with, I think Apples to Apples is funnier than Cards Against Humanity.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Them's fighting words
There.
in some places.
yeah. I'm excited to try their new one. It's called Throw Burrito.
What?
Yeah.
Throat
think so.
burrito?
Throw Burrito.
Oh, throw.
I think it comes with like a little burrito. It's, what do they call it? Weaponized Mexican food is the theme of the
Oh
new
my
card game.
gosh.
It does look pretty cute.
That is amazing.
While we wait, I could show people, I guess, what I'm working on for now.
Oh,
if you're
heck yeah.
interested. Give you a little preview.
Oh my gosh, Nell, that is hilarious. A friend came across her wife's bar exam review flashcards and asked, "Is this Cards Against Humanity Law and Order edition?" Yes, I love it. Only if Mariska Hargitay will narrate it for us, please.
All right.
Uh-oh. Let's see if I If that messed everything up. Nope. Let me make that bigger.
Oh, whoa. That's
Yeah.
crazy. We can see both
Let's
screens.
do that.
Got some
Ooh,
seriously
so
hardcore
exciting.
screen sharing.
Oh my gosh. How's that? Better? No.
Real weird.
Much worse.
Oh, that's my fault. That's what I get. How's that?
We're seeing ourselves as well. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Multi-screen madness. Okay.
Multi-screen even.
Yeah, right. Great. So I'm working on a getting started guide for Habitat, and my goal here is to kind of take people from start to finish in packaging up some applications with Habitat and doing it in a much more kind of getting started fashion. I recently developed some in-person training around this where we go in and take a couple days to learn the entire kind of framework together. But this is kind of meant to be a like self-paced guide. And I'm trying to develop it for several different types of applications, but our first iteration of it is going to be for Java folks on Linux. Although there will be ideally different flavors of the guide for different operating systems and also different types of applications, like a Python one would be the next one that I'm hoping to build. I'm also not super familiar with Java, so it's been interesting learning it and getting used to it. Was kind of brought up as more of a Node person myself, so it's been kind of fun to get used to it. So it's a pretty simple application that we're trying to develop, and I'm essentially writing like a long guide on how to iterate on the process of packaging this up. And so to give you an idea, this is a really common application that people package up with trying to get to know how Tomcat works to host your Java app. And so this is a sample application that's often given out to just have you kind of try it. It comes as a sample.war file that you can download, and you can find this pretty quickly if you just Google Tomcat 7 Java sample app. So essentially this is publicly hosted, and for this guide, I'm having people pull this down, and we're getting to the point where we're trying to automate packaging this up with Habitat. So what that looks like is I have this sample.war file that we pull down, and I have essentially initialized a Habitat directory right alongside this sample.war file. And so within this Habitat directory, I'm now going through the process of explaining how to deploy this application once it's been packaged up with Habitat. So what that looks like is I have this plan.sh file. I've uncommented or commented out a bunch of steps inside of here, but essentially what's going on is I have these 3 steps for building the application that involve first grabbing some dependencies for the app. So what this looks like, really all we need here is to deploy this with Habitat. We're going to need Tomcat 8. We'll also need JRE, the Java Runtime Environment 8. And those are my 2 dependencies for this application. And then coming through here, the build process for this package is that I don't really need to do anything as far as unpacking some zipped up files or running any special build steps. And this is because it's already been packaged up as a WAR file. So essentially all I need to do is deploy that WAR file with Tomcat. So as far as Habitat's concerned, it's a pretty simple deployment process here. I need to copy that WAR file into the directory that we'll need to deploy it with Tomcat. So very simple packaging process with Habitat. The piece that becomes a little bit more complicated is after I have packaged it, I'm going to need to go ahead and initialize Tomcat. And this is where it gets a little bit more complex, is explaining to people what a run hook is and how it works with Habitat, where I'm essentially trying to describe how Tomcat should deploy this WAR file. And so that involves setting up Tomcat as a service with Habitat, copying that WAR file into the web apps directory for Tomcat, and then deploying a custom config file that declares like how the service should be running, what port should it be configured on, etc. So my process is I'm trying to find a way to go through and explain how to do this in a pretty lightweight fashion that doesn't get too heavy into how Java works at a deep level. And for this, I'm essentially inside of my Habitat studio here, and I'm going through the process of building this package, pulling down those dependencies, and inside of it, I now have a packaged up Habitat artifact that I can deploy and check out the build process and see how it's working. So to give you an idea of where I'm at with that, my Habitat supervisor here is going through and declaring some debugging information for me. And essentially I need to add now a new hook into this to declare how Catalina should behave here. And so that's kind of the steps I'm at here is finding a way to describe how to do this without breaking the bank and confusing myself or others too much when they're starting to learn this framework that we've got.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
And I would check the Twitch to see if I have any questions or if anyone wants to see anything, but then I'd be showing you Twitch on Twitch, and that would be a little too meta.
I think you would break the internet, probably.
Yeah.
Well, cool. That's awesome. Thanks
Cool.
for showing us.
Yeah, we can revisit it at some point if you want, but...
Yeah, sorry, I'm just leaning super close to my screen so that I can actually read what it says in there. And you have perfect timing because this just finished running with an error.
Nice.
Oh, goodness. Okay. It can't find the file that I'm looking for. Ooh, gross. Yeah, I think that's because, let's see. Yeah, it's trying to write it to here. And what we really need to do is create a directory for it, I think, to begin with. Let me just check all my chats to make sure. Oh my gosh. No. Speaking of Twitch mishaps, first of all, if you missed it at the beginning of this stream, like 5 minutes or 2 minutes before we went live, I was trying to figure out a new screen in OBS and accidentally streamed myself like moving through all those videos, the different scenes in OBS. So Nell says she accidentally called 911 on her Apple Watch once while streaming on Twitch. That's amazing. I think I'm not like, I don't know if it's just me and my friends or the people I know, but like I think everybody I know has a story where they've accidentally called 911 or their kid accidentally called 911. And now that Apple Watches are a thing, I have heard from multiple of my friends that they've accidentally dialed 911 from their Apple Watch. So yeah, be careful. PSA, if you have an Apple Watch, be careful that you don't dial 911, especially if you're streaming live on Twitch. Cool. So, let's see. It looks like my host key is failing to verify. Interesting, but it's also saying no such file or directory. And I feel like it should have failed before looking for the directory that it's trying to write to. Maybe I have my script written wrong. So this is in the workstation, which is where I am. File. And what are we doing? What step? Executing this guy right here. Wolfborn. Oh, this is my old script before I added this in, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like you're It looks to me like testing.pem. It can't find that. Is that on your local machine? And is that the same key that's inside of AWS?
Oops. Um, the So testing pem is the file that is created on the automate server. Oh,
I
bye,
see.
Nell. Thanks for joining, and we miss you too so much.
So I see that it's passing AWS key pair file there in that SCP command.
Yes. So what we're doing is logging into the Chef Automate server with my local PEM, and then grabbing this file, which does exist, and then copying it onto each individual workstation into a file that's just called testing pem. And it's saying like that file doesn't exist. And so I think what I need to just do is create a directory.
Hey Jody, this is Will.
Oh, hey, Will.
I'm back.
Yay, you joined just in time. I just finished spinning this up after like 20 minutes, so.
So I think the problem you're having there is
Yeah.
if you scroll to the right on that SCP that's happening in the code,
Yeah.
there is an option. So right here you have where you're copying it from.
Mm-hmm.
And oh no, that looks fine.
This is actually new code here. So what ran in here is what I had saved. And this is just work that I had not saved yet.
Oh, okay. So I think, yeah, because it looks like it's missing the source file that it's trying to copy from in what it ran. But I did see it in your file there. So I think you just need to save and rerun.
This is the source file. Here's the script that actually ran.
Yeah, so the weird thing I'm seeing is that you have a -p after the source. Like the -p and the password.
Oh, here.
It's on that line.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have that option in between your source and destination.
Oh, okay. So that's probably what happened. Yeah, I was trying to figure out this key. Whoa, please don't bring that up. This key here is used for the automate server, but I wanted to use the whatever user and password our students are actually going to be using in order to SCP it over. Do you know if there's a way to pass multiple, like, I don't want to pass multiple identity files, but to pass multiple mechanisms for authenticating, one for each server? Does that exist? I don't know. Yeah. Let's find out.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you can pass multiple identity files to SCP to have it walk through the list of things it should try.
Okay. Let's see. It's different.
The other option is just to actually have it SCP to your workstation and then do a second one that SCPs it up with the other credentials.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to... Robin can weigh in on this too, maybe. I don't know if I want to copy, like if we have 60 students, I don't want to copy 60 files to my local workstation every time I run the Terraform. But that's just because
It should only do it when things change. So when like a new user is created or things
What do
like
you
that.
mean?
So is this is still running through the null resource that we had set up?
Yeah. Oh, I don't mean in Terraform. Like, that's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is like if I'm creating 60 users with this script it's going to be copying 60 PEM files to my workstation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to do that. But I also don't know how to SCP using multiple users. Sudo -u target directory -x. No, that doesn't. Oh, this is basically saying log on to the workstation and copy it from there. I don't think I want to do that. You can just specify it. Here's...
So are you trying to copy the Chef server PEMs to the workstations right now? I'm not up to date with what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So right now you're just trying to copy a file from that automate server to a workstation, but you have to log into each workstation one by one. Is that what I'm seeing here?
Essentially, yeah. The code that I have here hopefully goes through and takes the user for each workstation and then the IP address for each workstation so it can iterate through. But where I'm having some issue is if I say, hey, I'm going to use this AWS this key file to log into the Ubuntu or the automate server, pardon me. Mm-hmm. I want to know how to use a different, like if I'm using the Chef user here, I want to use the Chef password as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the error you seem to be getting is that testing.pem doesn't exist. Am I seeing that right?
Yeah, but it also before that says that the key verification failed. So I don't think it was able to even log into the instance to begin with. But I could be wrong. So let's do... maybe if I pass -p after the destination. But then I'm pretty sure the workstation user is... CentOS instead of Chef. Workstation user.
It says right there in the output above that, right? CentOS at the IP address testing.pem. So it is passing CentOS. And it is passing that password you've put in there. So if you scroll up a little bit in the output, we might be able to see the whole command that's run. Right there. Not sure. It's tough because the Twitch stream puts our faces right over the output.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even notice that.
You're fine.
I can probably move that. How's that? Now it's all squunched up, but at least you can see it. Okay, here we go.
So the other thing I'm noticing is that the -P for SCP is for specifying the port.
Mm-hmm.
I thought lowercase p was for port.
The lowercase p is for preserving times and access.
You got that Chef DK mentality.
Oh, is that just from the Chef DK?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. How horrible. I thought...
Yeah, I don't think you can specify a password on the CLI like that. If it should prompt you for a password, but you're running through Terraform, which is going to disable that.
Okay. So no password. And then...
I mean, one other way to do it as well is to SCP it across using a key you have and then use sudo to move it into the right spot.
Yeah. That is what this was talking about, I think, right? Up here, like log into the destination host and then run sudo get this from the Chef Automate host.
Well, you could have Terraform put the file in place. It's just going to be in the wrong place. And so you just have a remote exec that then says copy or move it to the actual user's home directory.
And how would I do
that? Well, so if we fix this so we can actually get the file in place, we can add, after that local exec, we could add a remote exec.
Okay.
With a command that just, is basically a sudo move or sudo copy or, whatever, however we want to move it around. So I guess the other thing is which one is this running on?
I think crap. I don't know what the AWS server, the Automate server is. Probably this one. Let's find out. Oh, crap. CentOS at oh shoot, this is the Automate server and whoops 54.146.226.76 and then we'll paste that there. CentOS testing.pem. Host key verification failed. So I'm not able to authenticate to the Chef server. The Automate server? Oh, no, I did have them flipped. Crap. Oh. Sorry, Robin, what were you saying?
It was Will. I was just looking to see the command again. You also, I think, have a typo at near the beginning where you have, I don't know if capitalization actually matters or not on that, but
good point.
Strict host key checking.
3.130. $54.146.226.76 and good gravy. User known host file strict host key checking. Okay, let's see if that works. Ooh. If I use an identity file, it shouldn't be asking for my password, should it?
Only if the identity file fails to allow access.
Crap. I don't know what the password is, so.
Isn't Terraform fun?
What?
Isn't Terraform fun? Debugging it?
Oh my god, so fun. Yay. Oh, goodness. Okay, well, let's do this. Ubuntu at 34, no, 54, 146, 22676. Whoa. Oh, I forgot to actually show it where to go. Great. Why isn't this working?
Is there a different PEM file that the Terraform is using?
I don't think so, but let us see. It is this one. Where do I? No, that's not what I want. Yeah.
Is it not Ubuntu? Is it?
No, I think, doesn't Automate have to be deployed on Ubuntu?
No.
Oh.
It's basically any OS that supports systemd.
Oh. Dope.
And has a kernel of 3 something.
Is that because of habitats?
Yep.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay. It should be Ubuntu though. Because I'm pretty sure we're using that elsewhere. And it does work. But let's see. Is anybody playing Animal Crossing in their spare time? I am. And I know that I'm playing it too much because the background music is now stuck in my head. Which is, oh my gosh, Quick Brown Dog, you have to make me some, you don't have to, but I sincerely request with great gratitude that you make me some t-shirt designs as well. Oh man. One of the facets of Animal Crossing is that you can, by as evidenced by the conversation going on in chat now though, you can change your outfits and you can custom design different outfits. So the first custom design that I downloaded for the game was a Legend of Zelda outfit so that I can walk around and look like Link all the time. And if you know me, then you know that's like my dream in life is to be Link from The Legend of Zelda. Ooh, the forest. Oh my gosh, what? It's similar to Animal Crossing, but it has cannibals. I'm gonna have to look that game up now. What platforms is that on, Time Walking? Just Dance on Twitch. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, on Switch. How do you play Just Dance on the Switch? Is that with the Ring Fit device? Oh, cool. I do not have a PS4 anymore. I just have an Xbox and a Switch and my computer, my laptop. Anyway, sorry, that was a bit of a sidetrack. Let's see where my stuff is. Okay, this is 34. Oh my gosh. It was correct the first time I had it. I just had maybe a capital T. Sorry, I just went into AWS and realized that the IP addresses are just totally backwards. What the F? copy SSH-I, oops, pointed at my identity file, training, Ubuntu at, okay, that works. So why is it not working in the SCP script? Wait, also, Will, if you're still there, didn't you tell me that the user known hosts file dev null prevents it from doing this whole permanently? You don't know this user.
Yeah, it should skip that. So I was actually just looking to see if there was maybe something we missed for that.
Oh, well, this actually happened when I was running the SSH command rather than the SCP command. So maybe I am wrong there. Oh, hold up a second. Is this the right? Oh, yeah, it is -O and -O. Null. That's correct. Maybe we can just do, maybe we can test just moving it to my own local. Oh, no. Strict host. That's correct. Okay. Then we'll say drop it. What am I doing? Home. Oh crap, I didn't even put it in the right one. Oh, hey, that worked. Without passing the second server. So, but is that because I added the host name to my account?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it only if the -O options only apply to the source and not the destination.
Delete. Move it. Yeah. So do you think I would have to pass it again after the source server? Maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. SSH JWolf training CentOS at 54 dot whatchamacallit. Okay. Wouldn't it be nice if I just said, this is what I want it to do, and it just did that for me? Is that too much to ask of software these days? Oh dear. Do you think I don't want to pass that again, do I? CentOS at 54 dot. Well, let's see. Host key verification failed. Lost connection. I do not understand what is happening right now. Maybe it is time to try what you were saying earlier, Will, and just writing it out to my my works, like my
copy it down
local
locally.
laptop. I don't think it's this capital T, but let's see if it is. Yeah. No such file or directory. So maybe. Pew. What is happening? Maybe if we move it to a different directory. Or specify a directory, rather. Nope. Harumph.
Are you able to do the direct SCP without using any of those, the -O options from your workstation?
Like just straight SCP-I, my PEM file source, and then destination?
Yep.
Okay, let's try. Drop. To CentOS at 54. Yes. Good gravy.
Yeah, so something
no.
with those.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you didn't do the colon at the end.
Yeah.
So it just copied it to a local file named CentOS at. That looks like it did it. Host key verification failed.
But it's able to do it without specifying the location. SSH. Good. How many times can I type this today? CentOS at 54.146.226.76. Whoa, did I do something crazy? What is taking so long? Oh, it's been an hour. I bet. Why is this taking so long? Or failing?
You could add a, let's see, is it capital? Or I can never remember if it's capital or lowercase. V's at the end. Let's see. Yeah, lowercase v's.
What's that?
Just go up and add a -v at the end.
Okay. Let me see if I can get into the other one as well first. 34, 201, 3, 30.
It should probably be the Ubuntu user as well.
Oh, thank you. Weird. Why isn't the other one working now? I broke it by writing that file to it. What the heck?
It could also be, there could be security policies that aren't allowing SSH.
I just SSH'd a minute ago to it. Didn't I? I thought. Maybe not.
I mean, it looked like the SCP worked, but...
Yeah, I was trying to log in to verify, but now I borked it. This is very strange.
So let's go ahead and add the -v at the end, and we can see a little more info from SSH on what it's doing or where it's hanging. Okay, so it's just hanging, trying to connect to the port itself.
It's weird.
Is the VM still running?
Good question. Still appears to be. Yep. Oh, I typed the... Oh my gosh. Please don't let this be it. I typed the IP address wrong. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Where would that have gone?
It should have gone into that directory there, the home directory for CentOS.
Why didn't it? Okay.
Did we have a typo on the IP for
I
the
know
SCP?
why. Yeah, I don't have the right IP, so how could it possibly have? Oh, that does have the right IP address, though. Do.
Does that one have the right IP, or is that one the wrong IP?
It has the right one. Before I only had, it was like 54.146.22 instead of 226.
Ah. So it still doesn't like the host key verification. Is there something in your known host file for one of those IPs?
I don't think so. What do you mean?
So if you grep that IP for your tilde.ssh/nonos,
On my computer?
Yep. Oh, you'll have to give it the IP. You have to give grep the IP to search.
Duh.
It's going to have to go before the file name as well. So it is there.
(201-3-130). Yeah. They're both there.
So then the only question is, are they right?
How would I check that? Like, I have no idea.
It's complicated. Is the short answer.
Yeah, Kimball, that's what we were trying to figure out too. Where we can like modify or dictate what the second connection should be. Let's see.
How strict are the security groups for that second host?
Well, let's see. Should be everything, right? All open, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that.
And I don't think it's, let's see this guy. Oops, not that. All good. What? Let's see. If anybody is just joining, we're trying to figure out why SCP is not working between my Automate server and my Workstation server. So if you are an SCP Pro, please speak up. Okay, let's move.
So I just sent you a command that would let you verify that host key, or at least see what the remote host key should be.
Okay. Change that. CentOS at 54.1. Excuse me, 146.226.76. Test. Okay, what the hell? That works. Oh. Add -3 to the command line, Kimball says. Copies between 2 remote hosts.
Is that the magic?
Oh. Well, but that copies it to my local host and then...
No, it just tunnels through your local host.
Oh. Okay. I guess I don't mind doing that. Does the -3, Kimball, do you know, does the -3 come at the beginning? Like before both of the hosts after the identity file, or does it matter where it is?
The last 2 things in the command have to be the source and destination file location. So it has to go before those, anywhere before those.
Okay, cool. So let's try this. 226. Ooh, maybe that worked. Let's see if I still am not. Oh, that's why, because it was the wrong stupid number. Yay. Okay. Okay, so we just need to add a -3 here, hopefully. And let's do this command with all the things first before, just to verify. Strict host key checking equals no. User known hosts file equals dev null -i-3 correct IP address and everything. Cool. Okay. Thank you, Kimball. Hopefully that will solve it for me. Let's make sure the script is all correct. Yes. Save the change finally. And Terraform apply. Since this is a local exec will, I don't need to taint this file, right? It'll just go through and reprovision, essentially.
It should. I mean, maybe you might have to. It depends on whether it recorded as a success or not on the last run.
Oh, okay. I don't think it did because it failed at the end with an error. So
yeah.
Ooh, I got chat in my Zooms. Zoom
That was me.
chat. Ah. Thank you.
But we don't need that now.
Okay. Whoop. not what I intended to do. Yes. I hope this works. Yes, let's check out my task list while that is running. Copy testing PEMs. Woohoo! Almost done with my tasks. I have another task though, because once we're done with copying the PEMs, we need to test the connection, the knife connection to Chef Server. Oh, actually, does knife work? Whatever. I thought I heard something like knife doesn't work. Will, was it you who was telling me about testing this out if I'm trying to test the connection to Chef Server from the Automate server, it's going to cause issues? Was that you who was telling me about that? Maybe not.
Trying to test. It wasn't me, but yeah, that there are some issues with running the knife from the Automate system itself.
But it should be fine if we're running it from the workstation.
Yep, that should be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I don't think we want to bootstrap nodes to the Chef server before the students log in. Robin, in your experience delivering and like spinning up environments and delivering the courses, after we test that the config works between the workstations and the knife, and the Chef Infra server, using knife, how are there any additional steps after that we would need to run through to make sure that things are configured for class? I guess that's a pretty loaded question, but
well, if you're able to grab the starter kits, although I'm not sure if they're generated on the new service-based version of the Chef server. So I think the most important thing is that you have the keys downloaded.
Yeah.
So yeah, that to me is the same as testing the connection, I suppose.
Okay, cool. And then beyond that, I can't think of any configuration settings that we would need to do. I don't know.
Not that I'm aware of. Are you going to have, so for the workstations?
So one of the things you could do, because you're right, there isn't going to be a starter kit available, but you can run a knife configure command and it will prompt you for info like the Chef server URL, the, basically the username and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe that is something that we can work on as a future goal. But I do see value in teaching users how to build it from knife in the course as well. So maybe I'll make like an optional Terraform file that you can run if you really want to configure knife ahead of time. But I think it's nice.
Yeah, there is a good question. I do want to find out whether that's a workflow we're going to want to support in the future versions, because I do feel like Chef server uploading of cookbooks and stuff is going to be more hands-off going forward, where it's a process of having cookbooks added to the Chef server via a pipeline rather than using knife to directly manage them.
Right.
But I'm not sure.
But then how are you managing nodes and bootstrapping nodes to the Chef server and stuff?
Yeah. That's a great question. Because reporting back into Automate is another mechanism as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering if the Chef server can grab that information from Automate, have like one reporting mechanism rather than having to report back to the Chef server service and the Automate. So like, is there a way to share data between the two?
I think if I understand what you're asking correctly, I think uh-oh, we got errors. Oh well. Now I totally forgot what you were, sorry, that totally distracted me, the errors on screen, but ooh, it worked. Yay. Now we can log into this guy. But what was I gonna ask? Oh yeah, so depending on how users configure, they can send the same information at the same time between the two, right? So like send to Automate at the same time as you're sending, or right after you send to Chef Infra Server, but that seems
the polling mechanism for cookbooks and stuff is still kind of just really foggy to me. I'm gonna really have to play with it to figure out like how they're gonna pull cookbooks down after a bootstrap, how that works, because technically they're accessing the Automate server every time they log in, right? It's not like they're...
What do you mean?
Well, when a node reaches out to ask for information from the Chef server, right? They're SSHing or they're talking to the Automate server, and so I'm just not entirely sure what the API calls are going to look like.
It should still be the same. It's essentially the Chef server is the relevant services are running as part of or alongside of the Automate services, and it should handle it like advertising to the clients as if it was just a Chef server.
Interesting.
Okay. Now I think we have another issue. Oh my God. How do I go up level? Whoops. Okay, so script worked, but now we need to change it. Now I remember why I was originally trying to figure out how to use multiple users, because the PEM file that we just copied to the workstation actually needs to be available to the Chef user rather than the CentOS user. And my identity file only has access to the CentOS user, I think, right? I can't use...
Yeah, this is where you would need that remote exec that does the, basically copies it.
Okay, to the right, so then after I get it onto the CentOS user, I would just say like another script that goes through and moves it from the CentOS user to the Chef user?
Yep.
Okay. Why isn't it the same color as the ones above it? Oh, because I haven't given it that yet.
The remote exec is slightly different than the local exec.
Oh, right. I forgot. Okay, I need to say... I think it's somewhere in here. Inline equals square brackets. Okay. think that is correct. Inline equal. Just put that on the same line. Okay. Then we want to sudo move testing.pem. Maybe I should specify the directory just in case he's
You'll probably want to give the full path rather than using that, because it's going to be, when you do sudo, that's going to turn into root.
all right.
So like home CentOS, I think, or
users CentOS. Is that correct?
I think it's just it. I mean, by default, it should just be home CentOS.
Oh. Then where am I dropping it? Whoops. Oh, crap.
/home/chef.
Oh. Will the CentOS user have the ability to do that?
With the sudo, yeah.
Okay. Think. Oh, and how do I actually I want to copy. How do I copy? What is the command to what's the little flag? Same permissions. -P, is that it? Preserve? No. Sudo copy.
Well, you'll probably want to. Are you talking about changing or preserving the permissions?
Yeah.
I would just recommend actually changing them, because right now it's going to be all used. I mean, it's going to be owned by who's it going to be owned by? Probably root. So you probably are going to need to do a chown to the chef user, and then I just chmodded as well.
Fine. Sudo chmod what is it? -x. God, I can't remember every flag for +x, that's what it is.
I mean, probably.
No, that's not what I
you
do.
probably just want like something like 400 or 440 or let's see, no, you want 500, I guess.
0400 is what I usually use.
0400. I learned so long ago, but hold on though. I can't. If I do this, it's just gonna give it CentOS access.
You
right?
also need to do a chown.
Yep.
So sudo chown chef, that file. You'll need both lines.
I know, but the chown comes before the chmod, right?
It can go either way. The ordering.
Okie dokie. Terraform. sorry, as a total non sequitur tangent, just because this is going to run for a while after I say yes. There are things now that everybody is staying at home, and now that kids are all home from school and stuff, there are things you learn about your neighbors that you never thought you would learn. Like, both of the children who live in the house next door to me are in band, and they both play horns of different variations. And I know this because every day in about 10 minutes at 1 p.m. Pacific time, they both start practicing. And I don't know if you have children or if you've ever had a roommate who plays the horn and practices, but it is distracting to say the least, I'll say. Oh, I don't begrudge them because at least they're learning something, but damn it if it is not very, distracting, like I said. All right, let's hop on to this guy and see if it worked. Now. Whoops, where's... Now, why didn't that work? Oops.
So probably because it didn't actually recreate the workstation.
Yeah, it doesn't run that resource unless it's going from scratch.
Oh my gosh, F.
Now, I think you can just update the amount of users, right? Like,
good.
if you
good call.
go ahead and change that and rerun the apply, it should just create new users.
Yeah. You probably just need to update the workstation count, right?
Yeah,
Just make a new workstation rather than adding another automate user.
exactly. So change that back to 5 and then create a new workstation right below. Nice. Y'all are going to get this just in time.
Yeah, right? Except that this is now going to take 50 minutes.
No, it should be a lot faster because it's just provisioning, hopefully, one machine, unless it destroys the other workstation and then recreates 2. I don't think it will, right, Will?
No, it shouldn't. It should just make a new one.
Yeah.
One to add. Awesome.
The automate one's the one that takes a while to create.
Oh my gosh, so long. I'm so thankful to you, Will. I don't know if you were here when I was telling Robin about it, but that, like, pulling that portion of the script out so that I don't have to taint the automate file every single time it's even with the 5 to 10 minute build after that, it's still gloriously saved so much time for me. So thank you.
Yeah, I've run into that a few times myself, so
Yeah.
Quite painful.
So it's already working through that right there, right? That file.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe it'll be under 2 minutes instead of over 20 minutes.
I'm not sure how I got rid of that no presto metadata for Puppet 6 thing, but I do think I was able to
Oh, nice.
resolve that somehow.
Yeah, I don't I don't really understand where that's coming from or what it's trying to say, essentially.
Yeah, I remember dealing with it. I thought it was a package that was getting installed or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That looks like Yum repo stuff to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's some other custom repos that have been added to the system.
Yeah, I think we go through and update Yum. Isn't that right, Robin?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. It's been a while since I've really worked on this. And I know our repos have diverged quite a bit too at this point. I've gotten some help from some other people like Ken Langdon, and he updated the whole thing to Terraform 12, which was pretty exciting.
Nice. Cool. No under 2-minute run like I wished for, but oh well. One of let's see. Sorry. Sometimes I forget that you all can see me. And so like I'm trying to read my screen when Robin was sharing and I just get really close to it like this and then I look at the Twitch stream and I'm like, "Oh, that looks ridiculous." This isn't a Windows workstation either, so it shouldn't take too long, but...
What you doing for lunch, Jody?
I haven't decided yet, but I was just looking in Slack in our general channel and seeing the note about Snack Nation. For anyone on the stream who does not work at Chef Software, our office manager coordinates lunch every Wednesday in the office for people who are working in there. So you get free catered lunch. And since the office is now closed due to all this COVID-19 stuff, our office manager decided to save the money on the catered lunches and instead spend it on little snack boxes for everybody at the company, which I thought was a really sweet gesture since a lot of people can't go out or we're all sheltering in place basically. And so I just thought it was really cool that they thought to send a little gift to people. And it gave our team, the developer advocacy team at Chef, some ideas for how we can maybe start helping everybody out there feel less socially distant. And so we're like putting together brainstorming ideas for little social distancing care packages. So if anybody out there has ideas for something they'd like to see in a care package, tweet it at me or at Chef Software or whomever who works at Chef, and we'll try and get it into those packages. All right, let's log into the second node here and see what we have. Yes, code can. Yay, it worked. Okay, so now we have the testing PEM.
That, well done.
I think
it's nice to resolve that right before we wrap.
Yeah, exactly.
Great job, Will. Great job, Jody.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see, where's my task list? So now we just need to test the connection. We need to make sure Chef Workstation is on the system. I think it is. Robin, are we only installing Habitat on these systems?
For this particular workshop, yes. So you can scroll up and you'll find the provisioning scripts in your tree there.
Yeah. Whoops.
I think it's called provision-workstation under scripts, and you can just add the Chef DK. Oh, it's data
nice.
Sources here. So yeah, if you want to add Chef DK to this, well, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's not there.
No, where?
Set up code server.
Maybe
I have them do that in the class. Yeah, excuse me. So. Yeah, I think I removed it from there.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Temp provision.
So yeah, but if you want to do anything automatically, you could add it to that file.
Okay.
Provision workstation.
Code server settings. Oh yeah, that's where you add in the VS Code integration.
Yeah, and I've updated that too. I imagine it's not working for you right now. If you were to, it might be, but if you grab one of those IP addresses and try to visit it on port, oh gosh, 8090 or something like that. I can't remember. It probably doesn't work. They changed some stuff.
Oh, yeah. What was the correct VS Code?
I couldn't even tell you. So they've updated it to use port 8000 now with the latest version. So when you merge my changes, you'll get the new fancy one. It actually looks better and performs way smoother.
Oh, so, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
But we'll get in touch.
Yeah, I'll look into that once I finish all the rest of this.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that brings us right up to 1 o'clock, and I promised everybody that I would only be working on this from 11 to 1, but yeah. If you would like to see the continuation of this project, we're going to be back here at 11 o'clock next week, 11 a.m. Pacific time, next Friday. And hopefully next week you will come and bring questions that you have, and we can answer those questions too, in addition to just looking at our coursework and watching us futz around with Terraform and SCP. So yeah, same bat time, same bat channel. Check us out then. And yeah, I do want to say thank you, very big thank you for everybody joining us in the chat, and also to Robin, for, being on this, starring in your very first, live stream with Chef Software, I guess. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for Will. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for hanging out, Will.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, no problem.
Everyone take care. Be safe. We'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.